And welcome back. Now, I already talked about what I think Greg Berhalter will do in my call up for the World Cup. That's right around the corner. And I personally don't agree with most, if not some, of the selections I think he will make. And I'm sure a lot of you too will disagree. Like, I will punch the air if I see Roldan or Areola. Oh, okay, Areola's gonna make it. But I will punch the air if I see Roldan on the freaking roster. Like, ugh. He's not good for the national team, but he is good for the club team. So I just want to talk about what or who I would take to the World Cup. This is my roster, my opinions, and whether you like it or not, it is what it is. Alrighty then, let's start off with the goalkeepers. Me and Greg are in agreement for the most part on who to take in goal, and I will take Stefan, Horvath, and Turner in terms of my starters. Stefan, no, I wouldn't start him personally. Yeah, he's alright with his feet, decent reaction saves. He was good in World Cup qualifying for the most part. He had a really good save against Chucky in the 2-0. And yeah, the Jamaica game, it is what it is, but he had decent saves. I would personally start either Horvath or Turner. Turner is a great shot stopper. You know, he had a plethora of clean sheets before he was benched for some reason in World Cup qualifying. And, you know, he's shown in the World Cup what he's made of. And, you know, we'll see how he does in Europa League for Arsenal and their League Cup teams, but he's the better shot stopper. Horvath, for me, he's the best of both worlds. He's better with his feet than Zach. Good as Turner in terms of reaction save. However, he is error prone, but personally, it's not really that often that he does an error. So for me, my starter would probably be between Turner and Horvath. But those are the three I'm taking. I would like to look at Cohen from you know, the goalie who's been starting in the Champions League. I forgot where he plays, or Sport. I don't remember. I should have done my research. Because he did have some good saves against PSG, but he did look kind of iffy in the playoffs to get in it. And Sean Johnson, listen, I'm an NYCFC fan. I love him. He's a good captain, but he sucks with his feet. Great penalty stopper and reaction save, pretty good, but he sucks with his feet. And yes, as a goalie, you're meant to save, not to play with your feet. But it is what it is nowadays. And now for the center backs, I would take Walker Zimmerman, Chris Richards, Cameron Carter-Vickers, John Anthony Brooks, and James Sands. Zimmerman, good for us in qualifying and against CONCACAF opponents. Good in air. Got better at passing. Richards, best upcoming defender we have. Good at passing. And for the two others, Cameron Carter-Vickers, really having a good play of games for Celtic. And I think he did well against El Salvador. And what's the other team? Was it Granada? In the Nations League. Now, for Sands, I would bring him because he's versatile. You know, he could play in the center back, he could play in the back three, and if you really need to, or personally I would put him there, you could play him as a 6, and in the double pivot, or as a solo 6, and he works wonderfully there. And for Brooks, let's not get it twisted. He is our best center back, whether you like it or not, whether you're Euro snob or MLS lifer. He is our best center back. He could pass the ball, he could defend well. Yeah, and the high line, he might be iffy, but we shouldn't personally be playing the high line. But he can do the job. And he has World Cup experience. He's one of 2 players with World Cup experience. And he scored a goal against Ghana. Take that for what you will. Will there be other center backs I will look at that aren't in the pool? Oko, I think that's his name, or how you pronounce it. He plays for Salzburg, maybe, but that's a bit of a stretch, to be honest. And for fullbacks and defensive backs, again, we somewhat agree on it. For right backs, I would say Dest and Yedlin, and for left backs, Robinson and Scally. Again, Yellen brings the experience, but I'm still iffy enough if I would bring him or not, because it's either him, Cannon, or Scally. But then if I bring Scally as a right back, I'm gonna need a different left back option. More on that in a bit. That's, good in the attack. Defensively, although I will say this, he does turn up for the big games. And Scally, like I said, he has a Leroy Sané in his back pocket, and he's been performing well in the Bundesliga for Borussia Mönchengladbach. And Robinson, best left back that we have, goes up and down the field. He's getting better at crossing. I'm not gonna lie, he's been getting better at crossing at Fulham in the Premier League. Now, under different circumstances, I would have liked to bring Jeremy Toljan. He plays for Sassuolo. He is German, American, and Croatian, I think. And yeah, he hasn't been. The only reason why I don't put him in my roster is because he hasn't been part of our qualifying. Whether that matters or not to you, or it is what it is. But he can play both sides, much like Scally. Although the difference is, I think he's left-footed, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, in terms of internationally, he has more experience than Scally. He played with the German Olympic squad when they went to the finals up against Brazil and came up short. And he played for good teams. Now for the midfielders, starting off with the 6, I'm in agreement for now. Tyler Adams and Callum Acosta. I would personally play Sands, but Acosta's been there, done that for us. So is that justifiable? Probably not, but it is what it is. And then I would go for Weston McKennie, Yunus Musa, Luca de la Torre, Tillman, and Alan Sonora. Now, there are other players I would like to consider, like Mihailovic for Montreal and Johnny Cardoso for Internacional. I am missing something, but I just can't think of it. But with Tillman, again, in terms of pressing, for me, he's been good. Because of his pressing, he had a great opportunity for a great assist in the Champions League to beat PSV in the playoffs, and against Japan? It was Japan or Saudi Arabia. He pressed really well at the final third, and it created an opportunity for us. We didn't capitalize on it, but it is what it is. And surprisingly, he's good in the air. Like, this guy could he could jump really high. Probably touch God if he wanted to. Alan Senora, listen, he has the 10 shirt in Independiente for an Argentine club. That's impressive in my book. That means something. He's good on the dribble. He's a natural 10, creative, and he's a good set piece taker, which we really need because players like Weston could perform well in the air, and he's an aerial threat. And moving on to the forwards, I would take Pulisic, Reina, Aronson, Weah. Pulisic should be obvious, important player, leader, good dribbler. Weah performs well for us in the national team, not for the club team, but it is what it is. I'm sure he'll find his home at some point. And listen, for Reina and Aronson, I would love to see them in the 8. I would love to see one of them, if not both, have a chance at the 10. But with me picking someone like Alan Senora, whether they're better or not, whether he's better or not than them at the 10, I would still like to put Alan Senora at least in the starting lineup to see what he can offer differently from Aronson and Reina. Because I think Aronson's a better presser on the ball than Senora. And Senora and Reina, I think they're both equally as good as each other, except Reina has that, he has that factor. He has that Argentine flair that we haven't really seen in the national team, if I'm going to be honest. Yeah, Pulisic's a great dribbler, but, there's just something about Reina. I mean, like, just look what he did to the Mexican team. He put all of them on their butts. And there are other forwards I was considering, De La Fuente, but he's been the miss for his club team. He had a great start to Marseille, but he kinda is falling off, if I'm gonna be honest. Another player that I would consider is Jack Harrison. I'm pretty sure he has his citizenship. I'm not 100% but I'm pretty sure. But because of that uncertainty, and haven't called him up, that's the only reason why I don't consider him or put him in my roster selection. But if Harrison has his passport, which I'm pretty sure he does, could be mistaken, I would definitely call him up. Now that I remember other players I would like to look at the midfield, Julian Green and Timothy Tillman, Malik Tillman's brother. I think he has something to offer. And for the nines, the strikers, I would take Pepe, Pifok, Ferreira. It's a switcheroo for me with Pepe and Sargent, because Sargent's been scoring now. But now Pepe has been picking up the pace. We'll see how he does. This might change for me, this might not change for me. Ferreira, he's versatile. I could play him in the midfield if I want him to. But he has been scoring a lot for Dallas in this MLS season. And Pifok is Pifok. I would start him personally. Should be on a roster. He was a top scorer in the Swiss League. He scored in Champions League against important teams. And now he's been doing it again in the Bundesliga. For recap, I would take Stefan, Horvath, Turner in goal. Right back and left backs, my fullbacks, defensive backs, whatever you want to call them. Dest, Robinson, Yellen, Scally. Center backs, Walker Zimmerman, Brooks, Chris Richards, Cameron Carter-Vickers, and James Sand. Midfielders, Tyler Adams, Kellen Acosta, Weston McKennie, Yunus Musa, Luca de la Torre, Malik Tillman, and Alan Sonora. Forwards, Christian Pulisic, Gio Reyna, Brandon Aronson, Timothy Weah, and for the nines, Pepe, Ferreira, and Jordan Pifok. Hope you have a wonderful and peachy day.